that we have, any notebooks that we have. So we've been building second brains for centuries now, even writing on stone tablets or tying knots in ropes as a code. So second brains, lots of ways to do them. In my view, there's no absolute rules of right or wrong. But what happened with software is we have better ways. We have the leverage of technology and of artificial intelligence just to do so much more for us. And that's what's kind of exciting now. And this tool is called Gamma. It's gamma.app. And I can share this entire presentation with you, which I'm going to do. I have learned that once you publish it and make a website out of your material, you can no longer share it the same way. You have to share it as a website URL. So I'm making sure that I click share. Anyone with this link can view what I'm putting up here. And you'll see what this means for us. If you can view it, you can click on it. And if you click on it, you'll get the resources that I'm sharing with you today in a very easy way. So that's thing number one that I'm sharing. There's a link to the presentation. And now, yeah, full screen. That's kind of what I want. So create your second brain, brought to you by Matt Burton of Savant-AI, which looks kind of funky there at the moment. This is a link to my LinkedIn. You can find me there. That's LinkedIn. Presenting this again, full screen. Three resources that should help you think about second brain. One is that one tool I like a lot is called Perplexity. So that link that you're going to find here is knowledge links. One way people organize their information is with Zettelkasten. This is a method, and it really is a German word for little pieces of paper in a box. So Zettel is like a little slip of paper. Kasten is a box. And so the idea of recording insights that you have as you go through the day is the beginning of this kind of second brain thing. You record a note, you don't want to lose it, you write it on a slip of paper. And that's what they call here fleeting notes. If I move my cursor, can you see that on the screen, Vlad? Good.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So there's three kinds of basic notes in this Zettelkasten system. You can choose any system you want, but here's an idea that a lot of people have used. Quick thoughts, insights. You have an impression. You're riding the bus. You finished a meeting. You were in the shower and you did your best thinking on a problem that you'd worked on for all day long. So these are quick thoughts. Now, literature notes, these are notes because you read something in the Wall Street Journal, you read it in a book. It was worth remembering and it came from another source. Permanent notes. These are notes where you have combined your own thoughts with something that you've read somewhere, conversation that you had, and you've taken time to do a little more work on it. So that's a more permanent type of note. So this is the basics of the Zettelkasten method. And I love this tool, Perplexity, because I can look up anything that I don't know. So this would take me to a YouTube, actually a series of YouTubes on Zettelkasten that are on Perplexity site. When I think of second brains and I think of knowledge, I think of where I go to learn things, and my number one AI-enabled tool now is Perplexity. It will give me a quick answer. So this is that Zettelkasten YouTube. If you have the pro version of Perplexity, you can actually build an entire collection. Now, I'm not sharing collections because I don't know who's paying for this software, because it's yet another software that costs $20 a month. So maybe you're not buying this because the free version is great. But if you buy it, you can also build out a new collection. And I can build here a whole collection called Second Brain. Second Brain. I could give it an emoji. I'm not going to do that, but that's my new collection, and I could put this Zettelkasten YouTube in there. We're going to go away from Perplexity, this answer engine. What I like about Perplexity is it can give me an answer like this, tell me all about Zettelkasten, and then I can ask it to reformat things, like send this to me in an email. Send this to me and my friend Bob in an email. Period. Actually, just write the email for me and I'll send it later. Period. So it's nice because as a generative pre-trained transformer, it can take an instruction and reformat something as well as give me an answer with citations. So this tells me where it got the information, and then it can also reformat that information. Love Perplexity. So it's a part of gaining knowledge. So that's Zettelkasten. Now, I also put here a link to say, Melanie, it can't actually send the email. You could connect it to Zapier, a tool which connects one tool to the next. And you could probably find a way to cut that data from Perplexity and send it on as an email. I haven't done that, but it should be possible with Zapier. Um, I made a link to some notes here. So you'll have those notes. This is just some notes to get you started with second brain concepts. And I formatted these as tables and bullet points. And because I made those, I want to show you like how I did that. I went to YouTube and I took a video like this.
Hey, I'm Daya, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken strips is that crispy breading. Let me introduce you to.
So this guy talks about the para method. This is his way. It's different than Zettelkasten. It's a way of prioritizing things that are important in note-taking. This is 11 minutes long. I might not have time to watch it, but that doesn't matter to me because I can get the main points by using this plugin. This is an extension, this plugin. You can see the things I have. This is called YouTube Summary. So this is a quick extension that I've instructed to summarize videos and turn them into a transcript. And it's going to Claude. I gave it a prompt. It takes the entire transcript of those 10 minutes and it tells me how to organize my digital life in seconds. So this isn't exactly second brain, but this helps my second brain go gather information that I may not have time for at the moment, but I want to hold on to it. So back here in the presentation, made with Claude and Glasp. Glasp is the extension I used. Claude is the tool that is a GPT that summarized the whole video for me. Glasp got me a transcript, Claude summarized it, and then later I took those transcripts and I put them into this AI agent or this tutor. So I made this tutor in ChatGPT. And this actually is a second brain because I've gone here and I've said, I want a tutor that will teach me how to make a second brain. So in the document I shared with you, you've got the link to this second brain tutor, and you can come here and use kind of an icebreaker prompt and say, how do I start building a second brain? And this has been trained on those YouTube videos that I had and other instructions from me. This has been trained to teach you how to make a second brain. For me, it is a second brain and it's kind of a partner. It's like a little employee. It can help me get things done. So it's giving me very quickly, you want to choose your tools, Obsidian or Notion or Evernote or OneNote in Microsoft, and then set up that app to do what you want. Here's an example with Obsidian. You want to have a method for capturing the information. You want to organize that information. You want to kind of review these things and then commit to this so that it becomes useful to you over time. Why is a second brain useful? Because you can remember things and you can link notes bi-directionally. They can go this way, they can go that way, and you start to create a structure of notes that can help you think new things. So you remember things, you recall them, you can build knowledge, you may find it enhances your creativity, etc. So that tool is a link there, and you can have it tutor you even after today's call. Um, okay, so those are the 3 resources to get you started right away. Um, Go to Perplexity, learn about note taking. You can summarize videos. You can use my AI agent or tutor. This is the basics of the Zettelkasten method. There are whole books written about this. Um, I'm not getting into it. Preparing for today, I looked at all these things. I got some books. There's no time to go into all these books, but they exist. Um, I have read that people have said their lives have been changed by the way they read and take notes, or rather by focusing on a different type of note taking. And the real thing that I've read is people, when they focus on what interests them, rather than what they feel is supposed to be important, when they focus on what interests them, those little insights, the things that inspire them, it really changes their lives, because then they start to build up a collection of those things that are most inspirational for their career goals or personal goals. And over time, the connections between those things give them a focus that helps them do projects, write books, and change their lives. So that's what I took from these things. So this idea of second brain is really pretty new to me. I'm an enthusiast. I want to include it in my work. That's why I'm teaching it, because it helps me learn it better. But these tools are new to me. And the one that I'm going to commit to ultimately is Obsidian, and I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes. Okay, that was just the second slide, I think. Resources to get you on your way. Um, Tiago Forte, I think if this subject interests you, you should learn about him, because he is the person that came up with the second brain phrase. He said essentially we all need a second brain, and he came up with this system called para, and para means projects, areas, resources, and archives. But I'm going to super simplify that for you and say that you have to focus on what is important now and what used to be important but isn't important now. That's the biggest separation you have to take. So you have active projects that matter to your life, your bottom line at work or at home. So active projects, and you have archives. And that's the first order of organization that kind of sets you free. You go, I don't have to think about these things. I'm going to archive them. I am focused on something else right now. So this block and tackle helps people, but he goes much further into what is a current project and important, what is an archive, and then the areas in between. Like, I'm involved for strategy for my company. That's an area. That is not a project. A project is something I have to do today. An area is something that I do long term. A resource is something I draw upon to focus on that long term obligation or responsibility of mine. The resource helps me with the long term responsibility. The project is what I'm doing right now. The archive is what I used to do. It's already done. I just want to keep a record of it somewhere. So there's a link here to a website and a link to a video. I'm not going to go into them. Um, Value of a second brain. You can go there for answers, for insights. You give your primary brain a rest. We all need a rest. I have come to this subject because my area of specialty right now is artificial intelligence, and every single week something is changing, and I find it overwhelming. It exhausts me and it inspires me. I want to go away and have a break and have a laugh and just watch, Netflix and chill. And then I get back from that and I want to know more. And I'm like, where the hell do I put this stuff? That's why I need a second brain. I want to remember when I learned something, how I felt when I learned it, what I thought the insight was, and how I think it may be useful in the future. So our whole approach to our work, even our passions, for work, can be augmented and helped by this software. Um, I just described that. Where do you create it? So a lot of people say, like, what's the right tool? And I'm giving you some resources in here to think about the right tool. The reality is it depends where you work and what your project is. So if you're working in a Microsoft shop at a large corporation, honestly, you're going to want to do things in OneNote. You're going to want to do things in Office 365. And you're going to want your company to authorize your use of Copilot so that you have generative AI, basically Chat GPT, inside of Office 365. So that's what you want. You want to work in Office 365 because that's where you are. If you're independent like me, you're probably going to be using Google Drive. I mean, I think you are. Most people are that I know that are independent. So Google Drive, you're going to want probably to get Gemini because Gemini is going to let you search your entire Google Drive. You're going to pay extra for it, but it's probably going to be worth your time. So when I say, where do you create a second brain? Create where you are right now, or create where you want to be. Um, what I mean by that is I use Google Drive. So I'm going to use Gemini to search my drive. But also where I want to be is where Obsidian may take me, which is a tool that makes me excited, but I have very limited experience with it because it's new to me. Um, but Obsidian will let me do that Zettelkasten method, capture my insights, and over time kind of build a network of interconnected ideas. It's like my own vector database, my own version of a large language model. That's what Obsidian does that is different than OneNote or these other tools that let you search your existing documents. Obsidian gives you a way of creating bi-directional links between all of the different parts of your brain, even if it's that I like, single malt scotch, and I also like sailing on the ocean, and I also like artificial intelligence, and I also like my favorite movie is The Matrix. Whatever the truth of your life is, Obsidian finds a way of connecting all kinds of things that otherwise might seem random. And there's potentially power in that in a world of AI where so many of the things we make could be generated by Chat GPT, sort of bringing us all to this average place where everyone gets the same Chat GPT answer. Obsidian blows that apart again by letting us be unique individuals with our own vector database of experience and ideas so that um, when we query Obsidian, we get something that's truly unique, like we are, where we bring our humanity back into the picture. So that is part of why Obsidian excites me. It is the human note-taking app that balances out all of the AI in our lives right now. So that's where I want to be. Um, but look at where you work and use the tools at hand. If you're a designer or a marketing person, you'll probably find that Notion is the best place for you to build your second brain because so many people use Notion. Um, so you may find that you do some things at work and some things at home, but all of these tools can be used in similar ways. You just find out where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. Um, and think about the outcomes that you want. Don't create a bunch of stuff in Obsidian if you want to be able to share it with all your friends and coworkers that use Notion. If your world is Notion, use Notion. I think I am sharing my screen with all of you. So if I go to Obsidian, can you see Obsidian now? Great. And if I go to ChatGPT, actually, that's not even the ChatGPT I want to use. Um, you might find that you're sharing ideas through Figma. That's a second brain in a sense. You might find that you're sharing ideas in Slack. So that's a type of second brain, anybody's email system. Notion, I used when I was creating a newsletter. You might have a lot of assets in a newsletter. That's my second brain for a newsletter that I was writing. You might have more than one second brain for more than one kind of purpose um, or outcome. And now I seem to have quit um, my Gmail, but there it is. Okay. So don't get hung up on where you create the second brain. Get hung up more on the fact that you are creating one and that you're consistent. Most of us have notes on our phone, our laptop, on notebooks. Most of us have experienced these things getting kind of spread out, and we're like, where did I put that? So what we're trying to achieve with the second brain is get a place to bring all this good stuff together, right? I've said most of these things, they're in the presentation, and it is amazing how fast 30 minutes goes. So I'm looking at that. Uh, this is what I'm going to say about Obsidian. I've given you a key startup document. This is how to start building. And I actually gave you some videos on how things might look. But Obsidian is written in Markdown language. This is what gives it the linking. It gives it formatting and linking back and forth to all of your best ideas. So those notes are there. Notebook. I want to say a word about Notebook because I've already said enough about Obsidian. You get why I'm excited about it. It creates your own personal vector database. That's the Obsidian deal. If you're going down that direction, but my estimation is it's a very personal thing. It becomes highly customizable because there are hundreds of plugins. It can be searched by ChatGPT and Claude and other tools, so it can be infused with AI. So it's very, very personal. It's great for creators and authors and teachers and such. Um, Notebook is good for researchers and teachers. Notebook is a Google product, um, and I'm going to show you how I used it for Midjourney in just a moment. And then ChatGPT, I built a second brain there, which I already demoed a little bit ago. All right. So this is my notebook. It's a very simple interface. It only allows you to do a few things. It was created by Google, and you can pull in only certain number of sources. So it is not as versatile as Obsidian and Notion. You can't pull in videos and such, but you can take things from your personal drive, your Google Drive, you can link it. You can bring in PDF files. You can bring in text that you copy and paste, and then it lets you do stuff. So if I brought in a series of things related to Midjourney, for each one, it's nice because the language model will tell me what's in this document. It says, this document about tokens talks about art styles, color palettes, photography, visual effects, design styles. It gives me the name of the author so I can look her up, Tatiana, and it gives me all of these styles that can help me create more interesting Midjourney images. So that was a document that I uploaded. This is camera angles, color palettes, consistent characters. This is a Midjourney cheat sheet here. And now that I brought these specific documents in, I can query these specific documents. So I'm not going out to the web, but I'm going to my personal set of documents. And I think that's great. So it doesn't just search for files and folders on my computer. I have brought in the files I want to focus on and created a notebook in Notebook Language Model, LM, and then I can query it. I can get really quick answers on image blending or any topic that you can imagine. So this is a great, easy tool that Google's calling experimental. It's a little bit different than just using Gemini in your Google Drive. And I liked it, I found, because it's really quick and easy. It's not going to do the bi-directional linking and the mapping of the entire mind like Obsidian, um, but it's a really great language model. It's really fast. All right. The second brain, what I did to build this second brain in ChatGPT, I'll show you really quickly. I came to create a tool. Now you need the pro version or the plus version of ChatGPT to do this, but it asks you what you want to create. I said I want to create a tutor that tells someone how to make a second brain. And after you've given it the basic information and it makes an icon for you, you configure it. And I said, I want you to do these things to help people build tools in a range of tools or build second brains in Notion, Evernote, Obsidian, OneNote, etc. All of this stuff. So I told it what to be. I gave it some conversation starters. I uploaded the transcripts of some of the videos. I told it it should be able to browse the web and create images. And then I updated it, and then I've shared it with you already. And so it's a second brain tutor, as you see, and it can answer your questions. All right. So we're pretty much at time. That's 30 minutes. Hopefully you got something out of this. You got an idea of what second brain is. You got a bunch of notes and starting places to build tools. Um, we're done. I give you permission to go, but if anyone wants to stay in it, I'll answer some questions. Did you get something out of that? Please tell me I get a thumbs up because I hope that was helpful. And I don't normally talk the whole time, but I really wanted to deliver that info. So Vlad, you're giving me high fives and thumbs up, and Koshin said it was good. Um, Melanie, thank you for the thumbs up. Uh, what else do I have to say to you guys? A lot of you have already been students in my class, which is awesome. I will tell you that for you or any of your friends that want to, um, for you or any friends that want to learn more about AI and you think there's something good to my style, I've created my first 4-hour course. Anyone that signed up today is going to get a link to a big fat discount to this. It will be my first time taking a 3 to 5 week boot camp and putting it into a sprint format. So I'm moving this into a 4-hour sprint